physical therapy student. I created this 3D printed prosthetic hand. It is wrist driven, so you have to have enough of your functional wrist to be able to make this movement, and you need about that much of your palm pad to actually fit into the device to control this movement. And it's all made from 3D printed parts that were made over at the Maker Hub, and the rest of the assembly kit was found off of 3D Universe, and they are actually pretty awesome because if you are going to be donating your project and to somebody in need, they actually give you the products for free. It is part of the Enable project. The Enable project is one that gives you all the files and sources to do the whole project. They give you tutorials. They tell you how to download the open source files to the 3D printers, everything. So the new skills and kind of going outside of where I'm normally comfortable is I do PT. We do a lot more movement. We don't really spend much time working with 3D printers or with anything like electronic, basically. So going down to the Makers Hub, learning how to use the 3D printers, learning how to assemble this. This isn't something that we're taught. We're taught how to kind of make a little bit of corrections and work with people with prosthetics and with limb differences, but not really so much the orthotics and prosthetics aspect of building it.
Hi, my name is Gabby Shankaran, and my major is cinema. I made these pocketbooks out of recycled material. Just kind of prove that, we have a lot of stuff in the Maker Hub. You don't always need to be ordering new things to make something cool. So in order to make these, I used the Maker Hub as, my space to make it. I also got all the scrap materials from the Maker Hub. These are recycled materials, meaning these are scraps that would have been thrown out otherwise, of fabric, also cardboard. What I learned from making these is a lot of trial and error type skills, because sometimes you have to try more than once to make one of these successfully.
My name is Sam Jimenez, and my major is computer science and finance. To my left, I have a smart mirror. This essentially is a computer screen with a wooden frame run by a Raspberry Pi, and it syncs to my phone to get the time and then my phone's calendar, so anything I put in iCloud will come up here. It has Elon's weather for today as well as for the next week. I have these in Celsius, not Fahrenheit, and then it cycles through all the top New York Times articles for today. So each day it'll be a new set of articles. Using the Maker Hub, I CNC'd this frame out. I can actually lay this forwards. So I CNC'd this out of a board. I then, using the laser cutter, modeled this back brace out and engraved the brace so that I could screw it down. And then using the Raspberry Pis, I wired it up, connecting to the connections for the display, and then built boxes to hold all the cables, and then used saws to build the legs to stand it up. So a bunch of the different areas of the Maker Hub. My other project is a DIY drone. So this drone was very budget focused. I wanted to see how cheap I could make a racing drone. So for this, I first went on the internet, bought all the individual components. So I bought each motor individually, each controller, the flight controller board, the power distribution, the cameras, and then goggles. So I can actually look through these goggles and see off the front of the drone where I'm flying. And then so for some of the tools I used in the hub, this was very soldering heavy, as well as laser engraving. So I hand designed the frame and laser engraved it, and then soldered every single wire connection on this board. So none of the parts came pre-assembled. some multidisciplinary skills. I would definitely say a lot of the woodworking stuff. As a computer science major, I have exposure to the coding for the mirror and the tuning for the drone and some of the electrical components. But woodworking itself isn't something I have a ton of experience with. So I really had to push my boundaries to learn a lot more and get comfortable with it all.
My name is Brian Council. My project is actually a rigid vacuum nozzle. The idea started with actually Dr. McMahon. He's one of the entrepreneurship teachers he teaches in Sankey. And when I started, he gave me the idea to seek a problem and find a solution for it. And a lot of entrepreneurs actually find problems in their previous work or what they're currently working at, and they try to find a solution to it. I previously worked at Autobell, and one of the biggest issues is that it was difficult to agitate carpet that was matted. So the strands and the fiber of that carpet were matted down, and there's dirt and sand and dirt and things like that you have to agitate and remove. So before you remove that, you have to agitate it somehow. And what you'll see is a typical nozzle is smooth. And the nozzle that I've designed is flat, so when you put it on leather, it doesn't scratch, but for fibers of a carpet, they stick up. It's not a flat surface. So what you'll notice is it's actually much smoother and much easier to vacuum, but you're gonna pull those strands of the fiber up and agitate to release that dirt. The Maker Hub was actually a huge use. I went to the downtown one a lot. I'm actually a high school student, and I'm a high school student at the Burlington School, and we have just 2 printers, but the reason I really enjoyed the Maker Hub is because it was a lot of like-minded people, and I could get training there. So I did the 3D print training, I did the CNC training, I'm actually doing the saw training tomorrow. The 3D print training helped me a lot. I'm already familiar with Tinkercad, but it helped me kind of dive into that a little bit more. I went beyond my comfort zone a lot doing research. So as much as I talk, as much as I like talking to people, I still get nervous. I have terrible anxiety. So when I had to research and I contacted multiple managers at multiple car washes and asked if they would be interested in something like this. They all said that they were interested, but the common statement was, would it cause damage? Would it scratch leather seats? Would it scratch plastic? Things like that. And so I definitely went out of my comfort zone seeking information and talking to new people.